of the night sky, trying to make me see your stars. But the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence. And the dark's all that I see.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. Here is the final word. Oh, the last word.
God, we don't want any more words after this one.
It wasn't the greatest, shall we say. Just before we start this video, we've got all the members, Facebook members, because we're almost on 20,000 likes. We might even be on 20,000 likes by the time this video comes out later on this evening. And all the names are going to be across the screen to say a big thank you to the ones that obviously get paid for the subscriptions, etc. Kyle, just a quick one on the Facebook subscription team. How can you get involved?
Well, you can subscribe. If you go on my Facebook page, which will be on screen now, you can just click supporter and all the information's there for you if you want to get involved. Link in the description also.
So get involved with that as well. So yeah, Newcastle 0, Norwich City 0. The stadium is just to my left. Wasn't very good today. Kyle, let's start with the starting 11. Lazaro didn't start. Danny Rose didn't start, but Bentaleb started, and it was the same front three as Oxford, who didn't score any goals last week. How happy were you out of 10 with the starting 11?
I didn't think Rose would start because it's a bit too soon, but I wanted Lazaro in straight away. It was an okay squad. It was good enough to win the game today, for sure. So I was happy with the front two of Almiron and Maximin on each flank. Jonathan was going to be dropped as he's the only fit forward. So yeah, I think it was an alright team, but you know, it's one of them, isn't it?
First half was just like most of the game. Norwich were the team that looked like scoring, and Sam, what a save by Martin Dubravka very early on. I think it was about 6-7 minutes in, where Norwich have a corner towards the Strawberry corner, which way you were sitting. And it was a great header. I forget who got the header, but it was a fantastic save. Close range from Martin Dubravka. Keeps us in it very early on. And those were the kind of the danger marks and the danger areas that Newcastle had to try and struggle with for most of the game, has to be said.
Yeah. There is a major issue. We are so ropey from corners and set pieces. So ropey. They could have scored a couple from corners today and we couldn't have complained. Something needs to be done on the training ground, or it needs addressing, because we conceded from set pieces at Villa, we conceded a set piece at Wolves. It's just a recurring theme. We got away with it today big time because Norwich did enough to win the game.
For sure. But Kyle, Newcastle did have a good opportunity. Yedlin's cross, I know it was the only decent cross he had, but he was poor today. Right towards the back post, Joe Linton headers it. Great save from Tim Krul, and now Almiron just needs to head it on target, and it goes in. It just
scored.
Just went wide. Were you thinking at that point, right, we've just started, taking us about 20 minutes to get going, but right now, can we get on? Now can we get into second, third, fourth gear?
I thought so at the time. I thought, right, we've finally got a chance, we can kick on now, but it was just shocking, mate. It really was.
Did you expect Almiron to score?
Yes. It was very similar to do you remember against Aston Villa when we went down a couple of years ago and Sim de Jong had that golden chance? It was very similar to that. It kind of fell to him and he's just kind of put it wide. But it was a good header from Jonathan, fantastic save by Tim Krul, and it was just a case. I thought we could kick on, but we're just asleep for the majority of the game today, like Jonny.
I'll sum up the first half here. Newcastle get a free kick on the edge of the box a couple of minutes before half time. It gets played short to Ritchie, okay, hits the wall, and Norwich nearly score from Fernandez's tackle, literally almost through on goal. Yeah. That summed up the first half of Newcastle today. Second half though, Sam, early changes from Steve Bruce. Lazaro comes on for Yedlin. Hayden comes off. I don't know whether it's an injury or not, but again, we've discussed in the scoring the players that it didn't look happy coming off. But something had to be done because it wasn't good, was it, by Newcastle?
No, I think the riot act might have been read at half time, which would have been good because that first half was just unacceptable. That's the first time I think Steve Bruce has made substitutions so early that haven't been forced by injuries. Yeah. Yedlin had a mare today. It would have been nice to see Lazaro start because he struggled to get in the game once he come on. Like I said in the player ratings, I liked Hayden's reaction when he went off, kicking the bottle, showing a bit of frustration because he didn't have a great game today.
Passion, some people will call it.
Yeah, it's the reaction you want to see. So he should bounce back. It was just so all lacklustre that we just didn't kick on. That's 2 games in a row now. Here, 0-0.
When was the last time that happened? Ask
Rob,
to me quick
Rob,
thoughts.
Rob,
Last-
you need to find that out for us.
2 consecutive 0-0 draws. I cannot remember.
I think we would have had one under Rafa. I would have thought, but who
No,
knows?
we haven't. No, under Rafa, we didn't. Shockingly so, no.
Who knows, eh? Kyle, look, we had chances, but Norwich had better chances, and Pukki was causing us a lot of issues. Newcastle's probably best opportunities were coming from corners, and Tim Krul makes a good save for Fernandez's header that just went over the crossbar. But Norwich only scored an own goal from Grant Hanley's deflected interception, which Krul saved well again. It was going to be a Norwich mistake that really was going to give us a goal, but they just done enough really in the end to make sure that they didn't.
I think one thing that we need to highlight is the formation. Against the big six, against teams like Wolves, against teams like Leicester, where they can get in behind you and hurt you with these technical players, the wing-back system is fantastic. It's really effective. Catch them on the break with the 2 quick wingers and you can cause a couple of problems, and high press from the middle. Against teams that are wanting to sit and counter you on the break, doesn't work at all. The wing-back system is so ineffective against teams at the bottom of the league. It's unreal. The amount of games this season we've got no outlet. It's unreal. Like every corner this season, I think we've had, every player's been in the box, and you think, where's the outlet? Even if the best happens and win a header and it falls to the quickest player, what's going to happen? Like, it's just very, very defensive, and at times we're so defensive but still very open at the same time. And the amount of second balls were lost in the midfield, where we're just so open, and it was their attack versus just our defence overthrown the midfield. It was just lacklustre from back to front. And I think against these teams where we need to have more of the ball and show a bit more going forward, I think we need to play 4 at the back against these type of teams, and either have 5 in the midfield where you're going to get on the ball and use Bentaleb's ability to pass and move, and use Sean's ability to get forward, and use your attacking wingers to push forward. I think against teams like this, you're going to have to do that, because playing and sitting like we did today, you're going to have a lot of 0-0 draws, and we'll kind of keep relying on playing after 92 minutes of a game to win them.
Yeah, for sure, good point. Obviously, Saint-Maximin has a curling effort that hits which Krul saves well, but Norwich had a good chance near the end where Pukki goes into the box. It's a great save into Dubravka, but it comes back to Clark, who nearly hit off him and went in, but they managed to clear it. But we were looking to get a 0-0 draw, Sam, weren't we?
Yeah. For someone who's not overly big or not overly quick, Pukki's a cracking player. Yeah. Works the channels really well. I thought the defence and midfield were very lacklustre in getting out, clearing the lines and getting out. They're just so lethargic. There was just nothing about them, and no urgency. No urgency at all. I've been calling for 4-2-3-1 for ages now. When Bruce tried the 3-5-2 over Christmas time, which doesn't work. Like Kyle said, the wing backs you don't really need to play if you're not playing one of the bigger teams. I think 4-2-3-1 with a number 10 in the middle supporting Joe Linton, it'll leave him a lot less isolated. I thought that would have worked against this team in Norwich today.
A high press, that's all we needed, because at times they were very loose on the ball, but they had the time to control it and move. We made Alexander Tete look very dominant in midfield.
I thought he was their best player today.
And he is an alright player, but he shouldn't be dominating our midfield. No way. I don't think so in any way.
No, a lot of points, a lot of good points. Get your comments in as well. Let's hear what Steve Bruce had to say following Newcastle's 0-0 draw with Norwich this afternoon.
You have to put your hands up and say we were not good enough at all, and that's disappointing. The last 2 games we looked jaded, especially at the top end of the pitch. There was no real spark. We did have the big opportunity in the first half, and unfortunately didn't take it. But you know, we huffed and puffed all afternoon, and if we're being honest, we surrendered the ball against. Look, Norwich are a decent side. They keep the ball well, they move it well, and I watched 2-3 DVDs of them this week, and you know they've played like that, and what they've done like that today on numerous occasions, and haven't picked anything up from the get, or haven't got enough wins. You know, when you don't play well, the one thing you don't want to do is get beat. I think that was imperative today, that we didn't get beat, which gives them a lift, especially with the points tally between us and them now.
I'm back. Steve Bruce will be very frustrated because look, Newcastle, no disrespect, Norwich will be looking at 3 points against this sort of team. Before we kind of go into what Steve Bruce has to say, I have to mention Tim Krul, his first proper game back since coming to play Newcastle at St James's. Kyle, a thoroughly deserved reception.
Yeah,
he
for
really
sure.
appreciated it, but a true legend of our football club, I suppose.
One of in modern history, I'd say so. Very good servant when he came. I remember his first game against Palermo all those years ago, keeping the clean sheet and making the save just to see young Ben coming through. And he's very much an adopted Geordie up here. He's very much loved on Tyneside, and he's loved at Norwich as well. They were singing his name, but it's fantastic to see such a warm reception. He didn't get booed or anything, so very much respectful to Tim Krul. So yeah, fair play to him.
Thoroughly deserved. So Steve Bruce is not going to be happy. Obviously, there's the FA Cup game against Oxford on Tuesday. Lee will be at that game, getting you all the reaction for that. If you look at the results from today, you look at the table, which will be on screen now. Villa losing to Bournemouth, West Ham drawing to Brighton. They were the two big games. If you're looking at the bottom of the table today, we're currently sitting 10th place with that point, believe it or not.
We're top half team after that performance.
Apparently.
That's sinking everyone.
West Ham at 18th, they dropped into the relegation zone following Bournemouth's win, so they're on 24 points. We're 7 points clear of the bottom three. It's kind of back to where we were at 2:55 before anybody kicked a ball in the bottom half. So
we've been allowed that free. It's kind of been a free
hit. It's a game off, isn't it? There's another game chalked off. With Sam looking at the relegation battle now, 31 points. Is it just 3 wins gets to 40? Do we just need 3 wins from our last 13 games?
This is the difference, though, between a proper top 10, top 8 team and a team that is looking over their shoulder to 18th, 19th, 20th. We'd have won today if we were a proper top 10, top 8 team. It is just a case of getting these 3 wins. That team should have had enough about them to get it today, but we keep getting away with. We are getting away with it this season, big time, because we haven't deserved a lot of the points we've got. Especially look at our last run of games: the Chelsea win, the Everton draw. Are we unbeaten in 7 games now?
We haven't lost since Leicester on New Year's, though.
We haven't played well. We haven't played well at all. How that's happening? I know there's a few League One teams in that.
League One's a tough division.
Tricky league. It's a challenge.
It's not a one to walk.
It's definitely not. If you were playing teams like Burton week in, week out, you find it tough, I'm telling you. No, in all seriousness, we've got a League One team actually on Tuesday in the FA Cup in a replay.
That won't be easy.
It won't be easy. But Kyle,
the crossing's going to be great when it hits the car park, isn't it?
No, but in all seriousness, Kyle, look, it's on BBC One. Everyone's expecting a giant killing. Can Newcastle go in there and put a professional performance?
If they play that, no.
Would you make any changes? Would you start Danny Rose, Lazaro?
I'd start Danny Rose. I'd start Lazaro.
Would you go full strength? Would you do what Steve has been doing?
To avoid getting beat, we need that. So for me, got to play full strength. Got to.
Kyle saying playing full strength for Oxford versus Newcastle, but going back on today's performance, Newcastle 0, Norwich 0. Not the greatest, but these guys are going to be talking about it tomorrow on the radio show.
You forgot something, Danny Rose. He loves fish and chips.
He does love fish and chips. That was a great song.
That was the main chant. If there's any videos about it, it's got to go on Facebook and Twitter. Like unreal.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, these guys are going to be Kyle's presenting the radio show. Sam's going to be a guest. So tune in on 102.5 FM on Over Radio Northeast. But if you want to watch it on our socials, it'll be on YouTube, it'll be on Facebook and all our social media platforms, Twitter as well. Sam's doing a great job with Twitter. So yeah, like and subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and we'll see you on Tuesday in Oxford.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see when your stars have burnt out.